Why didn't the Japanese soldiers surrender even after being surrounded for 20 days?
Imagine being surrounded, outnumbered 10 to 1, yet fighting on for 20 days. Today we dive deep into the extraordinary and often misunderstood mindset behind why Japanese soldiers never surrendered, even when completely surrounded, unveiling shocking truths and cultural secrets that have rarely been explored or fully understood in conventional history books.
If you were trapped, outnumbered, and facing certain defeat, would you surrender immediately or fight to the bitter end? Share your thoughts below after discovering the astonishing truth we reveal. Why did surrender equal dishonor to Japanese soldiers? The Bushido Code, deeply embedded warrior ethics, valued honor and death above surrender. Soldiers genuinely believed surrendering betrayed their family, country, and ancestors, permanently staining their honor. Understanding a cultural mindset can transform how we interpret historical events, offering profound insights into decisions that seem inexplicable. Imagine genuinely believing your honor surpasses the basic instinct to survive. How would this reshape your choices? Japanese soldiers were prepared mentally from childhood. Education constantly reinforced loyalty, sacrifice, and selflessness. Soldiers internalized these principles deeply, seeing surrender not only as defeat, but as an unthinkable, dishonorable betrayal of everything they valued. Recognizing the immense power of education allows us to grasp how entire generations' values and behaviors can be shaped profoundly. Trapped in dense jungles with no supplies, no escape, and relentless attacks, conditions were brutally severe, facing starvation, rampant disease, and relentless enemy bombardments. Yet soldiers consciously chose death before dishonor, enduring and surviving against seemingly impossible odds. When morale and resilience are driven by deeply held values, human endurance can become astonishingly limitless. Never underestimate the compelling power of group pressure. Peer and societal expectations severely limited individual soldiers' freedom to surrender. Survival meant ostracism, humiliation, and even persecution back home. Social expectations profoundly shape critical decisions. Realize how profoundly these pressures can dictate your own choices. Officers enforced no surrender policies through severe violence. Soldiers were sometimes forced into suicide missions or faced brutal punishment merely for suggesting surrender. Fear of officers was as powerful as fear of the enemy. Leadership's harsh influence can profoundly dictate followers' ultimate choices and fates. Miscommunication tragically deepened soldiers' resolve. Propaganda exaggerated the cruelty soldiers would face if captured, instilling intense fear and paranoia that made surrender utterly inconceivable. Perceptions shaped by misinformation can drastically distort reality, often tragically.
Families at home reinforce the belief of no return if captured. Official policies combined with societal pressures to create a mindset where captured soldiers were permanently stigmatized and dishonored. External expectations deeply shape internal decision-making, highlighting the importance of supportive societal structures. Honor codes can completely override basic survival instincts. Soldiers willingly embrace death, convinced that they were upholding national dignity and familial honor. Understanding deeply held cultural beliefs offers clarity into decisions that might otherwise appear irrational or incomprehensible. One survivor hid alone for years, unaware that the war had ended. Isolation, distrust, and entrenched beliefs kept him from surrendering, underscoring the power of psychological conditioning. Isolation magnifies distrust and fear, reinforcing extreme, often tragic decisions. If you're fascinated by uncovering hidden historical truths, subscribe now. There are many more powerful revelations ahead. Why did enemy negotiation attempts fail repeatedly? Japanese soldiers viewed negotiations as deadly traps, deeply influenced by relentless propaganda portraying enemy soldiers as cruel and merciless. Clear and transparent communication has the potential to bridge even the most extreme divides. Japanese military tactics intentionally exploited soldiers' beliefs. Strategists emphasized no-surrender doctrines deliberately, ensuring soldiers fought fiercely and without hesitation. Understanding strategic motivations behind historical events provides deeper comprehension of their outcomes. Soldiers systematically burned their personal belongings, preparing mentally for inevitable death. This symbolic ritual cemented their psychological commitment to resist surrender until their last breath. Rituals powerfully reinforce mental commitments and can drastically shape behavior. Critically assess how historical narratives shape our modern perceptions. Western observers labeled Japanese soldiers as fanatics, while the Japanese themselves saw profound bravery and honor. Historical empathy promotes deeper understanding and bridges cultural divides. Some soldiers secretly surrendered, defying societal stigma. Survivors later lived quietly in shame and secrecy, their stories remaining hidden beneath layers of guilt. Hidden stories often uncover profound truths overlooked by mainstream narratives. A historian famously explained, "Surrender for Japanese soldiers wasn't simply a decision. It was an irreversible, lifelong disgrace." Expert perspectives illuminate the complex motivations and human depth behind historical actions. Contemporary Japan is actively re-examining wartime narratives. Younger generations increasingly question past doctrines, driving reconciliation and fostering deeper historical understanding and compassion. Truth and openness pave the way toward healing and societal growth. Today, we've deeply explored the cultural, psychological, and strategic complexities behind why Japanese soldiers chose death over surrender. History's most profound lessons lie in understanding deeply held values and the human capacity for resilience even in extreme circumstances. Remember, understanding, not judgment, is key. Subscribe now for more eye-opening, thought-provoking historical explorations. This content is provided for educational and informational purposes only and should not be construed as professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert as needed.